Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network. Wuxia. Player template, start 10 years of skill. Get the game system panel, and I'll do everything in the world. Complete tasks, kill people, experience points soar, and easily upgrade. Enhancing strength has never been so simple. Wherever I go, all sentient beings submit. Liu Feng. Note. This book combines martial arts, does not abuse the protagonist, accepts beautiful women. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Crossing the Heavenly Dragon, Brother Murong. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. My liking for Wang Yuyan is finally full. Looking at Wang Yuyan from the game, Great Martial Arts, on the computer, her favorability turned green and Liu Feng's face was filled with excitement. In the online game, the Wuxia, all martial arts characters are integrated, and players can deepen their liking for these characters. Once their liking is full, they can do anything. In order to increase Wang Yuyan's favorability, Liu Feng specially took several days off from the high school homeroom teacher and fought hard for 3 days and 3 nights. As for the reason, you know. Wang Yuyan's sister, brother is here. Looking at Wang Yuyan on the computer screen, Liu Feng chuckled. Zzz at this moment, Liu Feng did not notice that his computer plug was not properly plugged in, somewhat loose, and sparks were flickering. Suddenly, a strong spark flashed, the computer screen turned black, and white smoke began to rise from the nearby main unit box. Sleeping trough, want to explode. Liu Feng was dumbfounded, and before he could react, with a loud bang, the main engine box exploded. He was stunned by the explosion and passed out. He was so lifeless that his hand was resting on the exploding electrical wire in the main engine box. Suddenly, a flash of lightning flashed, and Liu Feng trembled all over before becoming motionless. Name. Liu Feng. Gender. Male. Age. 14. Root bone. 9. Determines the speed of cultivation and restoration of internal power, intelligence. 10. Determines the speed of cultivating martial arts, strength. 8. Determines the weight of the character's attack power, internal power. 0. Determines the strength of attack and the improvement of realm, experience value. 0/1000, rewards obtained by defeating enemies. The higher the realm, the higher the experience value required for upgrading, realm. Not entering the mainstream, 5 scumbags in battle, anyone in the martial arts world can instantly kill you, note. The above attributes can be exercised and improved, cultivated and upgraded. This is the system panel of Great Martial Arts. Have I traveled through time? Liu Feng woke up from bed, and before he could even look around, his eyes were drawn to the light curtain in front of him, his eyes wide open. There is a lot of data on the screen. Liu Feng just looked at it halfway, and there are other data attributes. Weapon. None arsenal. None map. Yanziwu, Gusu, Jiangnan, Sanha Village, Northern Song Dynasty, identity. Adopted son of Murong Bo, elder brother of Murong Fu, note. Although he is an adopted son, he is highly respected by Murong Fu, Crouching Trough, brother Murong Fu. Is this the world of the Heavenly Dragon? 8 departments. Looking at such a series of data, Liu Feng's eyes widened wider and wider. When he finally saw his identity, he couldn't help but burst into a classic national curse. Looking up at the surroundings, the furniture was antique in color, with wooden windows and white paper, and curtains and cloth curtains, all decorated by ancient people. I have actually traveled to the world of Tianlong Babu, and even brought the system panel of Great Martial Arts. So, can I constantly fight monsters and upgrade, and become stronger all the way? Thinking of this, Liu Feng suddenly became excited. And don't forget, this is Yanziwu, and Wang Yuyan's sister is also here. She is still her big cousin now, which makes Liu Feng even more excited. Young master. At this moment, the door was pushed open and a girl in a green dress walked in with a basin of water. Liu Feng looked over and heard a system prompt sound in his mind. Maid. Abi, proficient in Guqin music, age 14, favorite rating 80, respected. Abi, what's up with you coming over here? Liu Feng asked, dressed in clothes. Abi put down the wooden basin and said with a smile, young master, it's getting late. You should get up and go practice martial arts with second young master. Oh, yes, almost forgot. Liu Feng is not very familiar with the situation yet, so he can only face it for now. Liu Feng walked over to wash his face. When he saw the reflection in the water, he was stunned and said, is this handsome and scumbag-like boy? Me. Before crossing the river, Liu Feng, although beautiful and handsome, had not yet reached the level of a beautiful man. But now, in his reflection in the water, he is a top-notch beautiful young man. Fair skin, perfect face shape, sword eyebrows and starry eyes, nose like a hanging gallbladder, lips red and teeth white, coupled with that head of black hair tied with a golden crown, this is simply too handsome for heaven to accept. Young master, we should go out now. Abi looked at Liu Feng, blushing with a pretty face, and urged softly. The eldest young master is really beautiful, much more so than the second young master. Well, I got it. Liu Feng regained his senses, quickly washed up, and then walked out of the room with Abi along the corridor towards the hall. Before practicing martial arts, he still had breakfast. By the way, newcomers in the great martial arts all have growth packages, I don't know if they do. Thinking of this, Liu Feng deliberately slowed down a few steps and walked behind Abi, then muttered to himself, personal warehouse. Suddenly, an interface appeared in his mind, and there was only one thing in the warehouse. Item. Newcomer Growth Gift Pack. Chapter 2. Increase internal power by 10 years. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sure enough. Liu Feng's face showed surprise as he was about to open it, but at that moment, Abi's voice rang out. Young master, the meals are all ready. You can have breakfast first. Follow Abi into the hall. There are dishes and mantou on the table. They are steaming hot and fragrant. Liu Feng could only suppress his impatience first, walk over and sit down, and start eating. Seeing Abi staring at her from the side, Liu Feng touched her face and asked with confusion, Abi, is there anything dirty on my face? No, no, young master. I'll go see the second young master and them first. Upon hearing Liu Feng's words, Abi Qiaoli blushed. How could she say that it was because Liu Feng was so beautiful that she caught her attention and immediately left the hall like a little swallow? However, when Abi left, Liu Feng saw that the favor on Abi's head had increased. Favorite rating. 90, admiration, I'll go, it's so easy to get to 90. It seems that having beauty is really good. Liu Feng touched his own face and sighed. The highest level of favorability is only 100, and Abi's favorability towards him is currently 90. It's not far from reaching 100, so he's determined to be there. After Abi left, Liu Feng quickly called out several maids in the hall. When there was no one left, he called out his personal warehouse again and looked at the bright red newcomer growth gift package in the warehouse, his eyes lit up. Buddha, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Jade Emperor. Bless me with a top-notch treasure. The attributes of this newcomer's growth gift package are extremely clear to him. He can draw 10 times, and each time 2 to 3 items will randomly appear. However, the 10-day cooldown time is a bit long. For this first time, he naturally hopes that the items will be as top quality as possible. After reciting the prayer in fragments, Liu Feng didn't hesitate any longer. With a movement in his heart, he opened the gift package. Shimen Chueshua Experience Card X1, Premium de Huan Dan X1. Looking at the two things that appeared in the warehouse, Liu Feng was stunned and then showed an excited expression. Baby, both are top-notch treasures. Although there are only two items, they are both top-notch treasures. Shimen Chueshua Experience Card. Experienced the Sword God, Shimen Chueshua's All Strength, with a time limit of 3 minutes, Seonian, recognize reality, this is just an experience card, premium de Huan Dan. Permanently increases internal power by 10 years, such a low-level pill, only new talents can become treasures, and I will reward it to you. Both treasures have attribute introductions, and Liu Feng, who has played great martial arts, naturally understands. However, the system annotations behind them almost made Liu Feng vomit blood. However, if you vomit blood and get 2 top-quality treasures, let Liu Feng be happy. Well, keep the experience card for now, and use it for life in the future. We won't keep the top-quality de Huan Dan anymore. Thinking to himself, Liu Feng didn't want to eat any more rice. With a thought, he directly selected the top-quality de Huan Dan and chose to use it. Boom! The medicinal power of the top-grade de Huan Dan poured into Liu Feng's limbs and bones. In an instant, an astonishing wave of energy erupted from Liu Feng's body, causing the table in front of him to shatter with a crash. The surging internal force surged within Liu Feng's body, like a rolling flood, and the sound of the tide could be faintly heard. This feels great. Quickly, the pressure of the top-grade de Huan Dan dissipated, and the surging internal energy poured into the field of Liu Feng Dan. The feeling made Liu Feng couldn't help but scream for joy. At this point, the attribute panel of Liu Feng also changed. Name: Liu Feng. Gender: male. Age: 14. Root bone: 18. Recovery speed doubled. Intelligence: 20. Unparalleled genius, cultivation speed increased by 5 times. Internal power: 10 years, attack power comparable to that of a second-rate early expert. Experience value: 0/5000, rewards obtained by defeating enemies. The higher the realm, the higher the experience value required for upgrading. Realm: third-rate martial artist, with internal power in the air. Not knowing martial arts is not enough. Note: the above attributes can be exercised and improved, cultivated and upgraded. The next upgrade will increase my experience points by 5 times. How can I play with this? Watching the changes in the attribute panel, Liu Feng was originally quite happy, but when he saw the experience points, he immediately wanted to curse. Young Master. Big brother, what happened? Young Master, are you okay? At this moment, with the sound of several voices, a handsome young man in a blue shirt, accompanied by 4 middle-aged people and 2 young girls, rushed into the hall. Looking at this group of people, even without any hint in his mind, Liu Feng could guess their identities. They are all influential figures in Tianlong. For the convenience of reading and to avoid using watery characters, in the future, Xiaoqian will try to be as brief as possible due to changes in attributes. There will also be new books for newcomers, seeking fresh flowers and collecting spicy food. Chapter 3. Shocked by everyone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The handsome young man in blue, led by Murong Fu, is a tragic figure in Tianlong village. And the 4 middle-aged people next to him were the 4 major generals of the Sanhe village, Deng Baichuan, Gong Yeqian, Bao Butong, and the troublemakers. As for those 2 girls, one is Abi, and the other is the same tragic woman in Tianlong, Azu. I'm fine, my internal strength just crossed the level and improved a bit, but it alarmed you all. Liu Feng knew that these people had heard the commotion just now and rushed over. He didn't hide it and directly said about his own strength improvement. What? Young Master, you have actually cultivated your internal power. Deng Baichuan and his 4 companions were shocked. Since the young master was adopted by the old master, although he diligently practiced martial arts every day, his progress has been extremely slow, and it can even be said that he has not made any progress. In these years, he has not cultivated his internal strength. They even privately discussed that the eldest son was not suitable for practicing martial arts, but fortunately, the eldest son had amazing intelligence and strategy. The Murong villa has always been well managed and its reputation is also well known, so they also show great respect to the eldest son. Unexpectedly, today the eldest young master has cultivated his internal power. Isn't this saying that the eldest young master can be both civil and military? Big brother, have you really cultivated your internal power? Let's take a look. Murong Fu didn't have such thoughts. His respected elder brother cultivated his internal strength, and he was extremely excited. He immediately strode over and put his hand on Liu Feng's shoulder, his internal strength running, wanting to test it. Bang! Liu Feng smiled slightly, his shoulders trembled lightly, and his internal strength burst out. Murong Fu was directly shaken and flew out. Big brother, your internal strength is so strong. Murong Fu took more than 10 steps back and was caught by Deng Baichuan's 4 people before stabilizing his body, his face full of shock. 10 years of internal strength, can it not be strong? This is called thick accumulation and thin hair. Big brother, I have been practicing for so many years, it's not in vain. It's all for today's accumulation. Liu Feng covered it up with just one sentence. Great, the young master has now cultivated his internal power. With the help of the 100 martial arts in the water pavilion, he will definitely be able to make a name for himself in the martial arts world in the future. Abi said happily. The second young master's martial arts have also begun to show signs of maturity. The eldest young master has now cultivated profound internal strength, and in the future, everyone in the martial arts world will surely be famous. Gong Yeqian said with relief. No, second brother. With the qualifications of the eldest and second young masters, he should be a double hero in the future. Bao Butong stroked his beard and shook his head, saying. Ha ha ha, brother Bao, today your words make sense to me, Feng Laosi. I won't argue with you anymore. Feng Bu laughed heartily. Alright, young master, your internal strength is greatly improving. You need to consolidate it in the next few days. Let's not disturb him. At this moment, Deng Baichuan, as the eldest brother, stopped a few people and looked respectfully at Liu Feng, saying, Young master, you can regulate your breath and stabilize your internal strength in the next few days. As he spoke, he looked at Abi and Azu and said, you two should take good care of the eldest son these days. Abi and Zhu know. The two quickly nodded. Deng Baichuan nodded and looked at Liu Feng, then said, if you have internal strength, you can't do without martial arts. In a few days, the young master's internal strength will be stable. Currently, we will return to the water pavilion and select a few martial arts to cultivate, in order to increase our strength. Huanshe Shui Gu is an important area of Murong Mountain Villa, which houses most of the martial arts secrets in the martial arts world. Except for Liu Feng and Murong Fu, they are not eligible to enter. Well, I know, brother Deng. Although Deng Baichuan is already in his 30s, his identity is different. As a young master, Liu Feng cannot be called his uncle, but can only be called his peers. Big brother, I'm going to practice martial arts first. I'll come see you tonight. Murong Fu waved his hand at Liu Feng, turned around, and left with Deng Baichuan and the other 4 to practice. What a great little Zhengtai. How could the future be so tragic? Liu Feng sighed in his heart as he watched the obedient and smiling Murong Fu. Young master, let's take you back to rest first. The voice sounded, and Abi and Azu walked over. Liu Feng's eyes swept over the 2 young girls, and he suddenly smiled in his heart, his liking unexpectedly increased. Name. Abi, proficient in Qin rhyme and melody, age. 14 favorite rating. 92, admiration, name. Azu, proficient in facial contouring, age. 14 favorite rating. 90, admiration, okay, my waist and legs are a bit sore. Go back to the house and give me a good squeeze. Liu Feng approached the two women, pretending to be in pain all over, and said weakly. Upon hearing these words, Ah Zhu and Ah Bai's faces immediately turned red. Both women were not very old, and although they had been serving Liu Feng since childhood, they never made any excessive moves. However, seeing the painful expression on Liu Feng's face, the two women dared not delay. They quickly supported Liu Feng and went back to the house. Upon entering the room, Liu Feng was about to enjoy himself for a while, but the two women did not meet his expectations. Young master, I'll wait outside. If you have any orders, just shout out. Azu blushed and left the room as if fleeing. I'll go out and wait. Abi also ran out. Liu Feng sat on the bed, his face full of astonishment, and after a while, he looked up and sighed deeply. Acting is a tough injury. The new book is pink and tender, and requires everyone's watering to thrive. We are looking for fresh flowers and collecting them. If conditions permit, we are also looking for a reward. Chapter 4. Flirting Two Women. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The feeling of having internal power is wonderful. The warm and powerful feeling makes Liu Feng feel incredibly refreshing. Looking at the table not far in front of him, Liu Feng used his internal strength and slapped it with a palm. Bang! A strong internal force erupted from the palm of the hand, causing the table to explode. Hee, I can also be considered a little master now. Liu Feng chuckled. Young master. The door opened and Abi and Zhu walked in with nervous faces. Cough cough, it's okay, it's okay. I just felt itchy for a moment. Liu Feng coughed twice and looked at the two women's suppressed smiles. His old face turned red and his face was swollen. Young master, let's go prepare hot water for you. You're covered in a lot of dust. The two women quickly left the room, and then a silver bell-like laughter rang outside. I made a mistake, I'm too middle school. Liu Feng swore that he would never do this again. Of course, these two women also had to teach him a lesson, and he dared to laugh at me. Quickly, the hot water was ready, and Liu Feng took a good bath. Abi and Zhu waited on from the side. Liu Feng kept his promise and taught the two a good lesson. The steam in the room was steaming, making it a bit suffocating, but the shower lasted for a full half hour. Half an hour later, the door opened and a strong steam surged out. Liu Feng put on his clothes and walked out of the room feeling refreshed. Young master, we want to change clothes. A weak voice sounded from behind. Liu Feng turned his head and saw Abi and Azu standing behind the wooden bucket used for bathing, seemingly wanting to completely hide their bodies. The two women were soaked in water all over their bodies, and their long hair draped over their shoulders, appearing particularly delicate and charming. Well, you guys go back and change your clothes first. Come find me at the Huancher Water Pavilion later. After scolding the two women, Liu Feng was satisfied and said, then turned around and walked along the corridor towards the direction of the Huancher Water Pavilion. He has made great progress in his internal strength and relies entirely on the top quality de Huan Dan, which does not require time to stabilize. However, Deng Baichuan was right in saying that he now has internal strength and cannot do without martial arts. And in the system panel, the arsenal column is empty, but he needs to fill it himself. The water pavilion also collects most of the martial arts secrets in the martial arts world, which is perfect for him. Abi, have you noticed that the eldest son's temperament has changed a lot, becoming? Looking at Liu Feng, who was adorned with a golden crown and dressed in a white shirt, and was incredibly handsome, he walked away with great strides. Ah Zhu looked at Abi and said, but later on, her pretty face blushed and she couldn't continue. Well, the young master has indeed changed a lot. He wouldn't have done this before, but... Abi nodded, but as she spoke, she couldn't continue. Azu blinked his water spirit big eyes and quickly continued, but you like such a big young master, don't you? Sister Zhu, you still talk about me. Don't you also like such a big young master? Abi's pretty face turned red, but she retorted without hesitation. Where? Zhu's face also turned red. You said no, your face turned red. Abi scratched at Azu. The two women started frolicking, but unfortunately, Liu Feng had already left, otherwise he would have quickly turned back. In his words, it's natural to miss out on such a beautiful scenery. Sanhe village is located in Yanzhou, Gusu, Jiangnan, with a very large area inside. The rockery and water pavilions, as well as the pavilions and pavilions, have an extremely beautiful scenery. Walking among them, the willow wind only feels relaxed and happy. Of course, sometimes it's not good to get lost in a big place, especially for special people like Liu Feng. Damn it, how could this place be so big? Where is the Shishui Pavilion? Where should we go? For some reason, Liu Feng walked to a ferry crossing. Looking at the Bibo Lake in front of him, and then at the pavilions and towers, he couldn't help but start to doubt, is it that my road crazy is so serious? It's impossible. I didn't realize before that I could still be road crazy. Anyway, let them lead the way when Abi and the two of them come over. Subsequently, Liu Feng planned to return the same way and wait for Abi and the other two to change their clothes before going together to return to the Shishui Pavilion. But just then, the voice of a fisherman singing late came from a nearby lake. Liu Feng turned to look over. Not far away, on the surface of the Bibo Lake, a wooden boat was slowly approaching. The boat owner was swaying and singing high and low melodies, while at the front of the boat, a white-dressed girl stood tall and graceful. Although the distance was a bit far and not very clear, the gentle, peaceful, and fairy-like temperament made Liu Feng recognize the identity of this woman at a glance. Tianlong's #1 beauty, Wang Yuyan. Xiao Qian will work hard to update, with 2 to 3 shifts every day, continuously adding shifts, rolling on the ground for flowers, collecting, and giving rewards. Chapter 5. Wang Yuyan and her favorite feelings are full. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Tianlong, the character Wang Yuyan can be said to be lucky, but also unfortunate. She was born with national beauty, admired the country and the city, and was familiar with the martial arts of hundreds of schools, but she was not proficient in cultivation and had no strength to bind the chicken with her hands. She fell in love with Murong Fu wholeheartedly, but Murong Fu was determined to restore the country. The falling flowers were intentional, but the flowing water was merciless. This was her misfortune. However, Duan Yu's pursuit of infatuation has given her a good home, which is her luck. This ending may seem perfect to others, but Liu Feng knows that Wang Yuyan doesn't want such an ending. Otherwise, when Mr. Jin revised the Tianlong plot in his later years, he wouldn't have changed the ending and let Wang Yuyan leave Duan Yu and take care of the crazy Murong Fu again with Abi. Liu Feng understands Wang Yuyan and cherishes this gentle girl even more. That's why she was so devoted to her when playing the online game, Great Martial Arts, before. Big cousin, what are you doing here? The wooden boat docked, and Wang Yuyan saw Liu Feng with a surprised expression on her face. She quickly walked over with her skirt in her hand. At the same time, a warning sound also sounded in Liu Feng's mind. Name: Wang Yuyan, proficient in 100 schools of martial arts, known as the treasure of martial arts. Age 14. Favorite rating 90. Admiration. In the original work of Tianlong, Wang Yuyan fell in love with Murong Fu, but now, Liu Feng, although the adopted son of Murong Bo, is known as the eldest son of the cooperative village. He has always been known for his unparalleled intelligence, beauty, and elegance. Therefore, Wang Yuyan's attitude towards him has undergone a significant change, starting with worship. My favoritism towards Liu Feng even surpasses that of Murong Fu. Cough cough, cousin, please call me Liu Feng cousin, in the future. Listening to her address, Liu Feng couldn't help but cough twice and quickly asked her to change her mouth. Big cousin, this title doesn't sound right. Isn't it okay to call her big cousin? Wang Yuyan tilted her small head and blinked her lingling eyes. Although she didn't quite understand, she nodded obediently. Liu Feng, what are you doing here alone? Didn't you practice martial arts with second cousin and his team? When she came over in the past, Liu Feng used to practice martial arts with Murong Fu, Deng Baichuan, and others. Today, she unexpectedly saw Liu Feng here. And today, cousin Liu Feng, take a good look. Looking at Liu Feng's slender figure, dressed in a white shirt, flowing and dust-free, with a golden crown and hair tied, exuding a noble aura, and her handsome face, Wang Yuyan's stunning and charming face showed a hint of blush. Favorite rating: 93, admiration. Looking at the change in favorability above Wang Yuyan's head, Liu Feng was slightly taken aback, and then a smile appeared on her face. However, his smile was different from the one he faced with Abi and Zhu's children, full of tenderness. In his past life, he fell in love with Wang Yuyan, but had no chance to change her fate. In this life, he will not let Wang Yuyan fall into misfortune again. Little brother Murong Fu's fate, he will rewrite it. Duan Yu, the second generation of the emperor, is as far away as you can go. I will give you Wang Yuyan's happiness. Cousin, I'm going to Huanshe Shui Gu. You can come with me. Liu Feng raised his hand and rubbed Wang Yuyan's black and smooth long hair, smiling. Wang Yuyan is a regular visitor to the Zhanhe village, and she can freely enter and exit the water pavilion. With her present, there is no need to wait for Abi and the others. Great. Liu Feng's affectionate gesture made Wang Yuyan blush and she nodded in response. Then she gave a few orders to the boatman, and turned around to follow the path by the lake with Liu Feng towards the Huanshe water pavilion. A talented and beautiful woman, a golden child and a jade maiden, you're talking about Miss Wang and the young master. The boatman sat on a small boat, smoking a dry cigarette, staring at the departing Liu Feng and his companions, lost in thought. The Huishe water pavilion, located deep in the Zhanhe village, is an ancient and rustic attic. Cousin Liu Feng, your internal strength has greatly improved. You really need to choose a few martial arts to cultivate. Have you figured out what martial arts to cultivate? Wang Yuyan stopped in front of the returning water pavilion and looked at Liu Feng. When she arrived, she already knew about Liu Feng's situation and was naturally very happy in her heart. She strongly agreed with Liu Feng's selection of martial arts secrets. She had a good understanding of hundreds of martial arts schools, so she could introduce and recommend them to Liu Feng. Of course it's good, let's go first. Upon hearing Wang Yuyan's words, Liu Feng couldn't disagree. Young master. Ah, Miss Wang is also here. The sound rang out, and Abi's children walked over along the long corridor. Both women changed their clothes and seemed to have taken a bath. Their faces were red and beautiful, but also full of playfulness and agility. Sister Zhu, Sister Abi. Wang Yuyan and the second daughter were very familiar with each other, and a smile appeared on their faces as they greeted each other. You came just in time, come with me and help me select martial arts secrets. Liu Feng called out. Young master, the old master has rules, and we are not allowed to enter the Huishe water pavilion. Upon hearing Liu Feng's words, Abi and her daughter were taken aback and then hesitated and said. Bullshit rules, I'm the eldest son. Now I have the final say in the Zhanhe villa. Come in with me, and you can also choose to practice. Liu Feng pursed his lips. Although he was the adopted son of Murong Bo, he didn't have a good impression of Murong Bo as an old man. He was the eldest son of the participating village and the helmsman, and all the rules were set by him. Even the four generals of Murong Fu and Deng Baichuan dared not say much. Great, thank you very much, young master. Abi and her daughter were extremely excited. Name. Abi, proficient in Qin rhyme and melody, age. 14 favorite rating. 100, wholeheartedly, name. Azu, proficient in facial contouring, age. 14 favorite rating. 100, wholeheartedly, sleeping trough, is that enough for your liking? Liu Feng never expected that with just one sentence, his second daughter's favorability would be immediately satisfied, reaching a level of wholehearted dedication. The third watch that Xiaoqian has worked hard to come up with. Speaking of how slowly Xiaoqian's collection is rising, I hope for support and give Xiaoqian more motivation. Flowers, collections, rewards, kneeling cute and various spicy treats. Chapter 6. Achievement System, Continuous Rewards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Feng was amazed by the perfect liking between Abi and the two of them, but didn't notice for a moment. The two women were quickly rushing towards her. What are you doing, sleeping trough? As soon as Liu Feng's voice shouted out, the two women were already approaching. Xiang Feng pounced on her face and, one by one, pecked at Liu Feng's handsome face. Hee, Abi, thank you, young master. Ah Zhu also wants to thank the young master. The two women passed by Liu Feng and quickly escaped a bit, smiling and saying. You should tell me to be prepared. Liu Feng hated deeply. If he had known such words, how could he have stood there foolishly? Now that the second daughter's liking for him has reached a perfect level, the 4 words die hard, are not false. Even if Liu Feng asked them to die immediately, they would never have any complaints. This is the strength of their liking. Humph. At this moment, a soft snort sounded beside me. Liu Feng turned her head and saw Wang Yuyan beside her, pouting with a displeased expression on her face. The most crucial thing is that Wang Yuyan's favorability on top of her head has actually decreased slightly. Favorite rating. 89, respected, Nima, the favorability is not satisfactory, and it is indeed not safe. It will fall at any time. Liu Feng cursed in his heart. And he never expected that Wang Yuyan would be jealous. In order to remedy the situation, his face immediately darkened and he glared at Abi and Azu, saying fiercely, don't do this in the future. Oh, I got it. The two of them quickly responded. Sure enough, Wang Yuyan's face looked a bit better, but the little bit of goodwill she had lost did not increase. Liu Feng sighed in his heart, but he didn't feel too conflicted. He waved his hand, pushed open the gate of the Huancher water pavilion, and walked in. Wang Yuyan, Azu, and Abi followed behind. Miss Wang, were you jealous just now? No. I didn't, I just. Miss Wang, do you like the eldest son? Can I help you tell him? No, don't tell cousin Liu Feng. Hee, Miss Wang, your face is turning red. Yes, Miss Wang's face is really red. Liu Feng walked ahead and faintly heard the whispers of the 3 women behind him, feeling a sigh in his heart. It's good to have a perfect impression. This matter is too much and too urgent. Anyway, he has a good impression in hand, and he is afraid that Wang Yuyan might run away. Cousin, please help me see which martial arts here are suitable for me and introduce them to me. Liu Feng turned around and interrupted the conversation of the 3 women, saying. Upon hearing the voice of Liu Feng, Wang Yuyan seemed to have encountered a savior and quickly ran away from the 2 women, Abi, and walked over with small steps. However, her pretty face still turned red. Abi and Azu laughed and walked over. Cousin Liu Feng, your current internal strength should have reached a second-rate high and thin level. Your superior martial arts skills cannot be used to exert their power even after cultivation. Wang Yuyan said, thinking for a moment, and looked at Liu Feng and asked, Cousin Liu Feng, what weapons do you like to use? Sword. Liu Feng smiled at the corner of his mouth and said a word. Sword is the ruler of 100 soldiers, and there is also the saying of the emperor among the soldiers. The young man wields his sword and travels far and wide. Choosing weapons is naturally choosing swords. Moreover, Liu Feng, who is familiar with the Heavenly Dragon, knows that there is a top-level swordsmanship secret book in the Sanhe Villa. He doesn't want to give up that top-level swordsmanship secret book just because he uses other weapons. Liu Feng's cousin must look very beautiful with his sword. Wang Yuyan's eyes lit up when she heard Liu Feng's words. Liu Feng is incredibly handsome, with a tall and slender figure that can be described as abundant as jade. If used with a sword, it will definitely look very, very beautiful. Liu Feng shrugged his shoulders without explaining much. Wang Yuyan is known as the treasure trove of martial arts and is extremely proficient in the martial arts secrets of various sections. After learning that Liu Feng was going to use a sword, she soon took Abi and Zhu to the Huanshe Shui Pavilion and retrieved dozens of martial arts secrets. So much. Liu Feng was shocked. This is quite rare, I haven't even brought those top-notch swordsmanship secrets. Wang Yuyan said with a clever smile. Okay, let me take a look at what these swordsmanship secrets are all about. Liu Feng walked over and casually picked up a secret book above. Just then, a prompt sound rang in his mind. Item. 7-star swordsmanship, note. Originating from Wudang sect, ranked as a gold item, can be practiced, Jin Pin. Liu Feng's eyes lit up. In the system panel, the martial arts secrets are divided into 6 levels. Silver, Gold, Jade, Emperor, and Heaven. He never expected that the level of this 7-star sword technique would be so high, directly reaching the gold level. Are you practicing? At this moment, the prompt sound rang again. Is this still worth asking? Practice. Liu Feng said to himself. For a moment, a red light flashed in his pitch-black eyes, and the next moment, he felt a lot of information about swordsmanship coming to his mind. At the same time, the prompt sound rang again. Successfully cultivated the 7-star sword technique. But before Liu Feng could react, a series of warning sounds echoed in his mind. Open the arsenal and reward X3 intermediate experience pills. Gold grade martial arts, successful cultivation of 7-star sword technique, increasing experience by 50. Cultivate the first martial arts and activate the achievement system. Achieve the achievement of beginner martial arts and reward with double practice experience card X1. The first watch is delivered, and there are still 2 watches in the evening. Xiao Qian has been working hard, asking for flowers, collecting, and giving rewards. Chapter 7. Many achievement tasks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What kind of situation is this? Listening to the sound of prompts in his mind, Liu Feng was dumbfounded. He had only learned a martial arts secret book, how could he suddenly receive so many rewards? But having rewards is a good thing, Liu Feng doesn't mind the amount of rewards. Cousin, why don't you take Abi and Azu to choose some martial arts too? As she pushed the 3 women apart, Liu Feng quickly restrained her mind and recited attribute panel in her heart, and a curtain of light suddenly appeared before her. Name. Liu Feng. Gender. Male. Age. 14 root bone. 30, recovery speed increased by 3 times, intelligence. 30, peerless genius, cultivation speed increased by 7 times, unforgettable, internal power. 10 years, attack power comparable to that of a second-rate early expert, weapon. None arsenal. 7-star sword technique, note. From Wudang Mountain, gold grade, experience. 50/5000, rewards obtained by defeating enemies, the higher the realm, the higher the experience required for upgrading, realm. A second-rate early master, with a realm in martial arts, practicing diligently can also improve one's realm. Looking at his current attributes, Liu Feng is very satisfied. His root and understanding have both increased to 30, and both his recovery speed and cultivation speed have increased significantly compared to the beginning. He also has the ability to never forget. But when he saw the experience item, he almost vomited blood and said, "Your sister, the golden martial arts secret scripts only give you 50 points of experience. Why don't you give 5 points of experience? You're missing a 0. However, when the system calculated it this way, he couldn't help but move his mind and put away the attribute panel, feeling out of sight and out of mind. Rewards, I hope these rewards have better attributes. Liu Feng muttered to himself, opened his personal warehouse, and checked the rewards he had just received. Intermediate experience pill. Taking one pill can directly increase experience by 1000, it's just a medium grade, don't be so excited in the prime year, there are also top. Grade and top. Grade, want it? It's just not for you, double practice experience card. Valid for 1 day, during use, double all experience gained, San Yen, seeing how slow your cultivation is, I gave it to you. Oh my, I still have 3 times, 5 times, and 10 times here, I can't use them, it's a pity. Damn it, why can't this thing be blocked? It's so hateful. Liu Feng was absolutely satisfied with the effects of these 2 rewards, but the note behind it made his teeth itch with hatred. I won't compete with the system, so Liu Feng had a thought and selected the 3 intermediate experience pills in the warehouse. Intermediate experience pill X3, do you want to take it immediately? The prompt sounds. Staying money overnight is a fool. Experience pills directly increase experience, but I never take them now. Why keep them? Yes. Liu Feng said in his heart. In the warehouse, 3 white lights flickered continuously, and 3 intermediate experience pills disappeared. I don't feel much. Liu Feng muttered, completely different from the warm and surging feeling of taking the top. Grade Dahuan pill before. Opening the property panel, Liu Feng glanced at it and suddenly realized. Experience. 3050/5000, rewards obtained by defeating enemies, the higher the realm, the higher the experience required for upgrading, the experience pill increases experience. Only when the experience is full will it be converted into internal power and infused into the Willow Wind Dan field, becoming the strength of the Willow Wind. 1000 experience can convert 10 years of internal power, and this 5000 experience is equivalent to 50 years of internal power. Liu Feng's eyes were filled with envy. By the way, and that achievement system. Suddenly, Liu Feng slapped his forehead and almost forgot about it. With a achievement panel in mind, a light curtain appeared before Liu Feng's eyes. Looking at the gray rose on the panel, with only 1 achievement lit up, Liu Feng's eyes widened. Low-level achievement. Beginner's martial arts, completed, beginner in the martial arts world, once for chivalry and righteousness, can be completed, the winner is the king, killing 1 enemy can be completed, 1 enemy against 10, 1 person can single out 10 people to complete, intermediate achievement. 1 enemy against 100, 1 person can complete a solo challenge against 100 people, 100 schools of martial arts, complete 100 martial arts secret books that can be completed, 100 victories in battles, accumulated victories in 100 battles, can be completed, advanced achievement. The winner is the emperor, killing an innate expert can be completed, killing people in the wilderness, killing up to 10,000 can be completed, famous all over the world, recognized by at least 3 innate experts, can be completed, wood has collections, wood has flowers, wood has rewards, Xiao Qian feels resentful, and the 3rd one will be presented later. Chapter 8. Madam Wang, it's best not to provoke me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are so many achievements on the achievement panel that Liu Feng's eyes are a bit dizzy when he looks at them. Fortunately, the achievements on the panel are divided into 4 levels. Low-level, intermediate, advanced, and top-level, which are very organized. What's going on? Why can't you see the top achievements? When Liu Feng looked at the top achievements, he found that they were all blurry and couldn't be seen clearly. Completing 5 advanced achievements allows you to view top achievements. At this moment, a prompt sound rang in Liu Feng's mind. So it's like this. Liu Feng suddenly understood, forget it, if you can't see it, then you can't see it. Maybe it's all some abnormal achievements, and seeing them can actually cause trouble for yourself. Liu Feng is very open-minded, out of sight and out of mind, this is just right. Cousin Liu Feng. Young master. A fragrant breeze drifted in, and Wang Yuyan, along with Abi and Azu, walked over. Wang Yuyan, who was walking in front, had a pretty face that turned red, almost to the point of her ears. Abi and Azu were smiling behind her. Liu Feng raised his eyebrows and looked at Azu and Abi, did you two bully your cousin again? I guess these two people are teasing Wang Yuyan like they did just now. Young master, we got it wrong. The second daughter obediently admitted her mistake. Cousin Liu Feng, sister Zhu, they didn't bully me. It's too hot here. Wang Yuyan was afraid that Liu Feng might ask something, so she quickly apologized to the two of them. Liu Feng glanced at Wang Yuyan and said speechlessly, cousin, it's the end of the 12th lunar month now and it's already winter. Wang Yuyan's small face suddenly turned red, like a ripe lobster. Ha ha ha, let's not say it anymore. It feels hot, so let's go out. Liu Feng chuckled and didn't say much. He quickly took Wang Yuyan's little hand and walked out. By the way, Abi, have you chosen your martial arts yet? Miss Wang has selected everything for us. Zhu chuckled and said. Okay, then let's go back for dinner. The group left the Huancha water pavilion and headed to the hall of the Canha village. In the hall, the servants were serving prepared food and drinks when they saw Liu Feng and others bowing in succession. Go and call the second young master for dinner, by the way, call brother Deng and the others together. Liu Feng waved his hand and gave orders to a servant, revealing the demeanor of the grand prince of the concubine Zhuang. These four generals of the Murong family all have their own residences. Deng Baichuan is the head of Qingyun Manor, and Gong Yeqian is the head of Qixia Manor. There are more than enough for the four of them to live in 2 mountain estates. Usually, only during the day when practicing martial arts, do we stay in the Canha villa. At other times, we dare not linger much, which is also the rule that Murong Bo, the old villa master, has kept. However, the rules are dead, and Liu Feng knows that this person needs to be won over. It's not a big deal to stay and have a meal. Half a pillar of incense. Young master, we're here. With the loud laughter of the storm, Murong Fu stepped forward and Deng Baichuan stepped into the lobby. Liu Feng looked up at Deng Baichuan and his 4 companions, and a faint smile appeared on his face. Sure enough, the liking level above their heads had increased significantly, reaching 90, reaching a level of admiration. It's not far from being determined to be 100 away. Miss Wang has arrived, didn't she scare you just now? Seeing Wang Yuyan, everyone immediately saluted, and the storm was so bad that they scratched their heads, feeling embarrassed. Feng Sigi's words are too heavy. Wang Yuyan pursed her lips and smiled, not to be surprised. Cousin, you came over today, my aunt doesn't know. Murong Fu walked over. My mother knew about it, but she asked me to go back earlier. Thinking of her mother's instructions to her, Wang Yuyan felt a little unhappy. Liu Feng rubbed Wang Yuyan's little head and said, it's okay. After dinner, I'll take you back tonight. Liu Feng's affectionate gesture made Wang Yuyan's pretty face turn red and she lightly responded. Watching the two of them behave like this, Deng Baichuan smiled on his face, and even Murong Fu was overjoyed without any displeasure. With the young master as a gift, Mrs. Wang won't say much. Miss Wang, you can rest assured. Only the troublemaker, this reckless man with little vision, burst out laughing at this moment. No, Feng Laosi. I think at this moment, you should use food to block your mouth and not speak. Bao Butong stroked his beard and glared fiercely at Feng Bo Evil. Did I say something wrong again? Feng Bo scratched his head in confusion. Brother Feng didn't say anything wrong. Come and drink. Liu Feng chuckled and raised his glass, saying. For a moment, pushing cups and changing cups creates a lively atmosphere. After half an hour, the banquet finally came to an end, and at this moment, the outside sky was completely dark. Yuyan, I'll take you back. Liu Feng looked at Wang Yuyan, who didn't call her cousin anymore. Wang Yuyan also noticed this, and she was very happy. When she remembered the teasing between Ah Bai and Ah Zhu during the day, her little face turned red again. Liu Feng chuckled and took her little hand, walking outside. The crowd in the lobby exchanged a glance, revealing a tacit smile. At the ferry crossing, the boatman was still waiting. Liu Feng and Wang Yuyan boarded the boat, and the boatman rolled back to the mandala villa. After half a pillar of incense, it was already close to the ferry crossing of Mandala Villa. Ha! Why are so many people standing at the ferry? Liu Feng looked up and said in confusion. It's my mother. Wang Yuyan's little hand trembled. Liu Feng knew what Wang Yuyan was worried about. In the original work of Tianlong, although Lady Wang of Mantua Mountain Villa is the aunt of Murong Fu, her relationship is very bad. Now it's the same, especially with my adopted son, I have a cold relationship. Mrs. Wang is currently here with so many people, probably waiting for herself. Thinking of this, a cold light flashed in Liu Feng's eyes. Madam Wang, you'd better not provoke me. Wow, there are a lot of flowers and rewards. Xiaoqian is very grateful. However, Xiaoqian is currently in the new book period and needs the support of all the older brothers and sisters to continue seeking flowers, collecting, and rewards. Xiaoqian will find a time to add more in the next 2 days. Chapter 9. It's so strong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For Mrs. Wang, Liu Feng doesn't have a good impression. Now he is no longer the scholar who only knew how to read and used wisdom before. If the other party dares to provoke her, Liu Feng will definitely make her regret it. The small boat slowly approached the ferry, and with the light of the torch, Liu Feng could also see the people on the ferry. I'll go, this is clearly a mature version of Wang Yuyan. The 7 old women holding torches were directly ignored by Liu Feng, and his gaze turned to Lady Wang, who was wearing a big red dress at the front. Liu Feng has already seen many beautiful women, and the Azu and Abi who serve him are unparalleled in the world, while Wang Yuyan is even more superior to them. And the lady in front of me, Mrs. Wang, has almost an 8-point resemblance to Wang Yuyan's appearance. But that mature taste is incomparable to the current Wang Yuyan. If Wang Yuyan is a blooming flower, then Mrs. Wang is a fully blooming flower, with a captivating charm in every frown and smile. No man can resist this temptation. Duan Jingchun, this old man, is really skilled. For Duan Jingchun, Liu Feng truly admires him from the bottom of his heart. He can walk on so many boats alone without overturning, and often adds some colors to other people's hats, which ordinary people cannot do. At this moment, the small boat also arrived at the ferry, and with a loud bang, the ship's hull hit the ferry and docked. Mother. Wang Yuyan stepped ashore and came to Mrs. Wang's side, her voice weak. Yuyan, I called you back at sunset during the day, do you remember? Mrs. Wang's voice was cold. Yuyan, remember. Wang Yuyan responded in a low voice. It's already on the treetops of the moon now, you didn't listen to me. Mrs. Wang said again, her voice carrying a hint of anger. Auntie, it was me who left Yuyan for dinner at the Tsanha village, and she came back late. No wonder she. At this moment, Liu Feng leaped up like a flying swallow and landed beside Wang Yuyan. What a handsome move. Liu Fenglu's hand lit up the eyes of the 7 old women. Liu Feng, I didn't expect to see you for many days. Your lightness skills have improved a lot. Mrs. Wang's eyes also showed a hint of surprise, but then calmed down again, even feeling a bit disgusted. But now it's late at night, why don't you come to our Mantua villa to study? Also, if Yuyan doesn't return after sunset and makes a mistake, she will be punished. As for the reason, I won't pay attention. As she spoke, Mrs. Wang tilted her head and shouted to the 7 old women behind her, take the young lady down, ban her for half a month, and don't let her go out again. Mother, Yuyan knows she's wrong, don't punish Yuyan. Upon hearing Mrs. Wang's words, Wang Yuyan's face turned pale and quickly hid behind Liu Feng. She almost goes to Sanhe village every day to talk and play with Liu Feng and the others. Mrs. Wang has been banned for half a month and is not allowed to go out. For her, it is definitely torture. And here, the only one who can protect her is Liu Feng. You dare to talk back. Mrs. Wang's eyebrows furrowed and she became even angrier. She shouted at the 7 old women, what are you still waiting for? Take the young lady down and make her stay grounded for a month. Yes. There are no men in Montua Villa. These 7 old women are all Lady Wang's close attendants, each with martial arts skills. With this response, they immediately rushed forward and took Wang Yuyan away. Bold. Liu Feng's face turned cold as he stepped forward and suddenly let out a loud shout. In Liu Feng's voice, there was an inner power. Although he couldn't directly shock others like Shaolin Lion Roar, he still shook these 7 people a bit and stood still, not daring to move again. Liu Feng, you're reckless. This is our Montua Mountain Villa, not your joining villa. How dare you act recklessly here? Mrs. Wang raised her hand to Liu Feng and shouted. She had always disliked Liu Feng, but now Liu Feng dared to interfere in her affairs, which immediately made her angry. Auntie, you're right. This is indeed your Montua Mountain Villa, not my joint villa. But don't forget, the entire Suzhou belongs to my Murong family. Liu Feng sneered coldly, not afraid of her at all. Being wild. Auntie, pay attention to your vocabulary. His voice was neither soft nor slow, but it made Mrs. Wang's face change suddenly. I am now the eldest son and helmsman of Sanhe village. When you say this, can I assume that you are contemptuous of my Sanhe village? As the voice fell, Liu Feng raised his chin slightly and his gaze swept over the 7 old women. When they met Liu Feng's gaze, their faces changed greatly and they all took a few steps back. When Liu Feng's gaze returned to Lady Wang, he slowly said. Auntie, you are a woman of the high school. You should be more careful when speaking in the future. I don't want to wake up one day and hear the news that the Mandala Villa has been flattened. That's not good. Upon hearing Liu Feng's words, Mrs. Wang's face immediately turned pale. First, I'll send it to you first. Speaking of the spiciness of signing this book, Xiao Qian has been working on signing contracts outside all day today and only got home after 3 o'clock. It's really tiring. I'm afraid we'll only have one change tonight, but we still need flowers, collection, and tips. Cover your face and run away. Chapter 10. One sword, one person, sword sealing throat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Liu Feng's words have no exaggeration at all. With the current influence of his Murong family in Gusu, with just one word from him, this Mandala Villa can definitely turn into ruins overnight. Gusu Murong, these 4 words are not just words. Moreover, under Liu Feng's command, there are also 4 great generals, Deng Baichuan, who are all experts in the martial arts world. Deng Baichuan has a strong and continuous internal strength like waves. In the original work, he was highly praised, stronger than the 3 major villains, the 3 nobles of Dali, and the elders of the gang. He is an absolute first-class expert. Gong Yeqian is the most skilled in palm techniques, with astonishing palm power. In the original work, he once fought several palm moves against Xiao Feng. Although he was defeated, Xiao Feng highly respected him. In terms of palm techniques, he is known as the second best in Jiangnan, and is definitely a first-class expert. As for the difference between the two, although they cannot compare to Deng Baichuan, they are also second-rate experts in the martial arts world. In this manner of Montua, the most skilled martial artist is Lady Wang, but only at the level of a second-rate expert. As for those old women, they are not worth mentioning at all. As long as Deng Baichuan is alone, they can all be destroyed. Liu Feng, my aunt spoke a bit louder just now. I hope you don't take it amiss. Mrs. Wang said to Liu Feng with a forced smile on her pale face. Although she didn't understand how Liu Feng's temperament had completely changed from before, she knew that she couldn't afford it and could only accept it. Auntie, of course my nephew can't blame you for what you said. As he spoke, Liu Feng led Wang Yuyan and walked over. He stopped by Mrs. Wang's side and smiled faintly, but auntie, you maids are a bit unruly. You dare to take action against Miss, as punishment. Liu Feng's fingers and curses made Wang Fu very popular, and his body trembled a bit. However, she restrained herself and gritted her teeth, saying, Don't worry, I will punish them when you go back. Liu Feng glanced at Mrs. Wang and then turned his gaze to the 7 old women beside him. A cold smile appeared on his lips and he said slowly, You don't need to wait back, aunt. I'll come and help you punish them now. As soon as the sound fell, Liu Feng suddenly moved. With a sweep of his feet on the ground, a small withered tea tree branch flew high and was grabbed by him. Shua 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 Liu Feng replaced the sword with a withered branch, and with a tremble of his wrist, he unleashed the moves of the 7-star sword technique. The 7 old women's faces changed greatly, and they wanted to escape, but nowhere could they escape. Liu Feng's moves were extremely fast, with 1 sword per person and 7 swords in a row, swiftly passing by the 7 old women like the wind. When Liu Feng's footsteps stopped and his body stopped, the 7 old women slowly fell to the ground. Sword and sword sealed the throat, blood splattered, and 7 people died on the spot. Don't. Liu Feng's movements were too fast, and Wang Yuyan only realized it now. She shouted loudly to stop, only to find it was already too late. Yuyan, they are all damn people. Liu Feng shook his head and turned to walk under a tea tree. Look. With a low moan, Liu Feng used his internal strength and stomped out a big pit with 1 foot. The tea tree was uprooted and thrown away, and then blocks of pale human bones emerged. How could there be dead people here? Wang Yuyan covered her mouth and exclaimed in surprise. These people were all killed by them. Liu Feng glanced at Mrs. Wang, whose face had turned pale with anger, and sneered, using people to make flour fat. Over the years, there have been many deaths under their hands. So they deserve to die, I killed them just to avenge these people. Wang Yuyan walked over and took the initiative to hold Liu Feng's hand for the first time without speaking. Liu Feng turned his head and glanced, a smile suddenly appeared on his face. Name. Wang Yuyan, proficient in martial arts from various schools, known as the treasure trove of martial arts, favorite rating. 95, admiration, alright Yuyan, it's getting late and I have to go back. Auntie won't punish you anymore. Come back to Canha village tomorrow to find me. Liu Feng said, not forgetting to look at Mrs. Wang and asked lightly, Isn't that right, auntie? Yes, you are already cousins. It's good to move around more, naturally. Mrs. Wang dared not say anything else, she could only grit her teeth and say so. Alright, then I'll leave. Auntie, these 7 people are risking their lives. You can find someone to dispose of their bodies, so as not to damage the reputation of my Murong family. Subsequently, Liu Feng no longer stayed for a long time, casually dropped a sentence, and then jumped onto the small boat. The boat owner paddled back to the Canha village. The second one is coming, Xiao Qian wants to ask for flowers and rewards.